a big news story that was going around this week was involving cheap fakes. So we're going to watch a little video here. He'll explain it a little bit better than me. This is Andrew from Don't Walk Run Productions, which we've had here on the channel a few times. He's going to break this down a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about it afterwards as well. But and we may pause a little bit here and there. But this is what happened this week.
This is Joe Biden, the resident of the United States. Within a 9-day period, several videos had emerged featuring Joe Biden looking, well, first, while in Normandy for a D-Day event, Biden seemed to have an issue with sitting down in a chair.
The Honorable Lloyd J. Austin III, Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
Now, there are two things going on here. First of all, for most people, it shouldn't take this long to figure out how to sit in a chair. It just looks incredibly awkward. Second, if you look at alternative footage of the event, you can see that everyone is supposed to stay standing, including the audience, until after the next speaker was announced. But Biden started ahead of everyone.
Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
And again, it didn't help that he was fumbling and bending over so slowly. This is why poll after poll find that Americans think that Joe Biden is too old to serve a second term. Next.
Now, before we get into the next thing, I wanted to stop here and just point this out. I actually did a video on the channel earlier this week about the cheap fake stuff. Now, I took it down. There's a reason I took it down, because in that video, I stated I was actually going to kind of line up in the middle on this, because I saw, which we're going to play here in a little bit, a video where it kind of looked like, you know, the right was, the people on the left were saying the people on the right were using cheap fakes to make Joe Biden look bad. Now, the right is not usually known for that, okay? But the video we just saw of Joe Biden sitting down, there are people on the right who are saying, oh, he's pooping himself. He's not trying to sit down. He's squatting down. He's trying to poop himself, crap his pants. Well, and the reason why they say that is because, I mean, there's obviously a video of Joe Biden actually admitting to the stuff like that, maybe.
What must be what? What must be what?
He literally, it sounds like he says the words, my butt's been wiped. So, yeah, it's interesting. Not only that, in that video where he sits down at that, what was it? Was it a D-Day thing? I think is what it was in France. He ended up leaving shortly after that and did not return when he was supposed to be greeting troops. So that led a lot of people to speculate that he crapped his drawer. Okay. So again, the right is not editing the footage. They're speculating. I mean, is it kind of dirty? Yeah, it's politics, but I don't honestly believe he actually pooped his pants. I think it's an old man trying to sit down in a chair. That's what it probably is. So that was one of the reasons I took it down. The other reason we'll get into in here just a little bit, but here's some more stuff that the left claim are being fake about Joe Biden.
Next, there was this video from the White House Juneteenth celebration where Joe Biden looks like he's freezing up. Then, 3 days later in Italy, Joe Biden was watching a skydiving presentation along with several leaders from the G7. But then suddenly, Joe Biden starts wandering away from the rest of the group towards one of the skydivers, which led the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, to grab Biden's arm and lead him back to the group.
Okay, now the other reason I took the video down is because I addressed this particular video in that video. He walks over and is talking to some of the other skydivers who are off to the side there. The left is trying to say that the right and conservatives and the Trump campaign are trying to crop this video off here where it does not show the skydiver off to the side. The video I saw originally, I didn't watch the whole thing in its entirety, and it kind of stopped where he was kind of like halfway shuffling over there, and I didn't see the guy on the right here kneel down, okay? So I thought, okay, to be in all fairness, to me it appeared like I didn't think the right was, editing or copying the video, but they neglected to mention some of the context. So in that regard, I was trying to be fair in that video, right? Well, clearly, this is the unedited video. The right was not doing that at all. That's one of the reasons I took the video down. And he's going to explain some more about that. Either way, he still wandered away. Either way.
I'm sorry, But a G7 leader needing to run after Joe Biden like he's a toddler, this is not normal. Then, days later, at the end of a glitzy fundraiser in LA, Joe Biden, along with Barack Obama, are waving to the audience. But then, inexplicably, Biden stops moving, and Obama grabs his arm to start leading him off the stage. Now, to have this many incidents occur in such a short amount of time is concerning. But instead of taking an objective look and thinking, maybe there's something to this, the left-wing media is more interested in running cover for the White House.
Yeah.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering.
Stop. Notice how Associated Press reporter Will Weissert framed the question. It's not that Biden appears out of it. No, it's that the videos have been edited to make him appear out of it. But for the record, each video clip that I showed you has not been edited to make Biden look frail or mentally confused. He's doing that on his own.
I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith.
Oh, I see. It's not that Biden is looking frail and confused. It's bad actors manipulating video footage to make him look frail and confused. Got it. Again, for the record, YouTube, every clip I featured is raw footage from each event. It is not misinformation, it is not manipulated, and it is not fake. But according to Cringe, it is. Here she is specifically referring to the incident in Italy.
I mean, look, that was, as I said, it was a cheap, a cheap fake. That was definitely a cheap fake. It was. This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked.
Okay.
So let's take a look at one of these facts
It honestly,
and see what exactly they're claiming. Here's a segment from CBS News with Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cortez.
Cheap fake clips went viral on social media and were picked up by some news outlets. Take a look at this clip, for example. It shows Biden and other world leaders watching a skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction.
Okay, pause.
And that's kind of where I
Clarity,
stopped watching it
CBS
right there.
News is claiming that this clip is digitally altered. So let's compare the actual raw footage with the so-called cheap fake.
It shows Biden and other world leaders watching a skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction.
Did you see the difference between the two clips? Of course he didn't, because it's the same exact footage.
Outlets claimed that he was sort of just aimlessly wandering away. The clip amassed millions of views within just a few hours.
Oh my God, this is so stupid. He was wandering away. That's the whole point. But instead, CBS News is arguing, oh, well, he had a reason for wandering off.
If you widen out, you can see that he was talking to one of the members of the military that was participating in that demonstration.
But you don't need to widen out because this so-called digitally altered video already shows Biden talking and giving a thumbs up to someone. And you see this label? That means it was fact-checked by CBS News Confirmed, which is a special unit at CBS dedicated to combating misinformation. So you know it's legit. But great job, CBS News. You're doing God's work.
This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked, including by conservatives media, on what happened, what occurred. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post.
So
Are these the same same people who said the Russian were involved in Hunter Biden's laptop, by the way, the same fact checkers? Just want to point that out.
Green is referring to the New York Post's coverage of Biden wandering off, labeling him as meanderer-in-chief. Good one. That the Washington Examiner called out the Post is a lie. The Washington Examiner article she is referring to is not remotely a fact check. but it does quote UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He went to go to talk to the pilot, one of the parachute jumpers, Sunak said. He went to go shake all their hands. The British leader then explained that Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni ushered Biden back because all of the skydivers were set to come over to greet the leaders. Now, that is not a debunking, and it is not a fact check. It's simply quoting what a world leader said was going on at the event from his perspective. It's called reporting. And anyway, that additional detail doesn't debunk anything. In fact, it makes it worse. Think about it. Joe Biden was Roombaing over to the skydivers to shake their hands, despite the fact
did he say Roomba?
in advance that all the skydivers would come greet all the leaders in the group a few minutes later. But the White House and the media are acting like Joe Biden has never, ever wandered off before, and that the Republicans are creating these moments out of whole cloth.
Important international issue.
There's a lot of important international issues, but we're here to talk about America. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
And again, regardless of camera angles or who posted it or whatever, the main takeaway from the G7 incident is that Joe Biden wandered away from the rest of the group, and the Prime Minister of Italy had to go after him and grab his attention. That alone should be concerning. But CBS decided not to question it, and instead do the bidding of the DNC and the White House by repeating their talking points.
Anybody can take an image and manipulate it to make it look like it suggests something that didn't happen. Cheap fakes, cheap fake videos, cheap fake clips they're called cheap fakes for a reason.
Eyes.
And as we saw on Saturday, President Obama's office put out a statement. So I would refer you to that statement about what was being accused in those by others. And he said this did not happen in the sense of what people were saying they were seeing, right? Or what was being falsely reported that they were seeing.
Just as a reminder, Karine Jean-Pierre is a professional communicator who makes $180,000 a year, paid for by your tax dollars. Congrats, America.
Let's not forget, President Obama, President Biden have a relationship. They are friends. They're like family to each other. And I think that's what you saw. You saw the president put his hand on the back of President Biden.
Notice that she's not addressing Obama grabbing Joe's arm after he was standing frozen for 8 seconds, but that's okay because Karine is going to tell you what you saw.
And they walked off the stage after taking questions or at an event taking questions from Jimmy Kimmel. That is what you saw.
In other words, Big Sister Karine is telling you what you saw. So please reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. Absolutely Orwellian.
That is what you saw.
Finally, Karine Jean-Pierre addressed Joe Biden looking incredibly awkward at his own White House event. And honestly, it started out being the most acceptable answer she's ever given from the podium.
Okay, let's talk about Juneteenth. The president stood there listening to the music and he didn't dance. Excuse me, I did not know not dancing was a health issue.
And that would be fair, I guess. I mean, we all know that Joe Biden is the most awkward president in United States history.
Come on, clap your hands, all these people. Take out with a voice of triumph. Take it up. Come on, the power of the Lord is here.
Real quick, hold on. Pause that. It looks like my man has never seen that many black people in one room at one time, and he's fascinated by that shit.
But according to him, he grew up in the black churches.
Bro, he was. Listen to me. My man was enamored by that shit.
He sure as hell looks like he never been in one, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yo, that's a
Just
wild
standing
video,
up,
bro.
listening to music and not dancing, that is not a health issue.
Okay, whatever. Again, I think that it's a perfectly acceptable response. And she could have just left it there, but she couldn't because Karine Jean-Pierre is the worst White House press secretary in history.
If you look at the people who are around him, you look at the expanded video of the people who are around him, they were not. There were some folks who were not dancing either, and that has been fact checked.
Yeah, Karine can't show you that fact check because it doesn't exist. So let's do Karine a favor, fact check it right now. Oh, look, the expanded video shows that everyone is dancing, with the exception of Joe Biden and the Secret Service agent on the far right of the screen.
It's Juneteenth, y'all.
Anyway, the public at large ain't buying this whole cheap fakes narrative from the Democrats and the media. The only way to prevent these clips from existing is for Joe Biden to act like a normal human being.
What was that?
He was getting some like questions from the media who were like shouting. I mean, he just goes. Blah, 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 blah. You ever seen that clip of Steve Carell and
Yes,
Bruce
yes.
Almighty?
So like, okay, in that incident,
I don't know what to say.
I get it. There's everybody's throwing questions at him. In the sense of if you were like, yo, I get that you all have questions for me, but this is what it sounds like when you all yell at once. And then he did that. But for him to just make eye contact with somebody and just go, that shit took me, bro.
So when I originally did the video on the cheap fakes thing on the channel, this is the video I saw from MSNBC, and I'm going to get into why I want to go over this again.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts, and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser.
Which actually appeared to be the case, so this isn't a lie. So
the full video posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. The only problem is that the full video, which emerged almost instantly, shows Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers who's cropped out of the video entirely.
So I saw that video and thought, okay, the left at least omitted some of the or the right, I should say. The right omitted some of the context and didn't show him going over for the other skydivers. But we clearly just saw the original video did show that. It was never about that. It was about, I don't know. It just is so stupid. But the other thing I wanted to talk about with this video is they keep talking like, the right is the one doing this. The right is the one doing this. But in this own video, they're being dishonest with you right in this news report. And yeah, here it is. Okay. So the one on the top is the footage that was going around at this fundraising event. Now, did you see what happened there? The video footage that MSNBC showed on the bottom is they cut away and they zoomed way out to where you can't see what's actually going on between Barack Obama and Joe Biden. But if you continue to play the video, you can see where right there, Barack reaches over to grab his arm. But on the bottom video that they showed on MSNBC, it's so far zoomed out, you can't see it. So who is actually editing videos and making it look like they're cheap fakes? It's not the right. This is the left who did it. This came directly from the Biden-Harris administration's own account. Because as you can see here, if you see how they even left the logo in. So who is the one misleading the American public? I mean, it's not the right.
They have been for years, and if this is what it takes to wake people up, fine. But they have been lying to you for fucking years.
Yeah, and I had a compilation, but I accidentally closed it. But there was a compilation of media out there talking about how Trump couldn't walk down a ramp. Oh, we need to be worried about how slow he walks down a ramp. He's in mental decline or he's physically in decline. But yet these are the same people who try to tell you, who tried to jump into the front seat of the beast and, you know, beat up Secret Service agents, which Secret Service completely debunked, by the way, on January 6th. So, and not only that, just this week, while all this was going on, we had a left-wing outlet called No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. No lie. He actually lied here, which is ironic. He said, here's a photo of Donald Trump having to hold someone's hand to guide him off the stage, which is actually Donald Trump Jr. I'm sure this will get just as much coverage as the daily Biden is old story gets. Well, this is the photo that's completely taken out of context, makes it look like he needs help walking off a stage. Here's the actual video. Don't need the music, but what? And right there, he grabs Don's hand like for a split second. Let's watch it again. Bam. How long does he hold on to his hand?
Long enough for a photo.
But does it look like
he passed him something?
Well, it was just enough to be
Yeah, he
like
shook
acknowledged.
his hand. It's his son.
Yeah,
it's his son. Like it was
He
long
passed
enough
him
for a
some
photo
phone.
to be taken.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And
He's
they
like-
took that photo and ran with the narrative that he needs help off a stage, which clearly, watching this, he does not. I mean, if we can watch the rest of this all the way through, he's walking just fine.
Yeah. It's-
But no, trust the media.
Well,
Trust the
that-
White House. Trust the news.
what that is jealousy and fear.
He was
Yeah.
walking and
Coming
clapping
from-
at the same time.
But they want to say the
He
right's
can
in a
do two
panic.
things. I bet he can chew gum too.
I don't know about that one. I can't do it.
Oh, you remember?
Walk and chew gum at the same time.
You remember when they tried to say that Donald Trump couldn't drink water out of a water bottle?
Yeah.
And he did that too. It just proved everybody wrong with that one too. It's like, this is so
Yeah.
ridiculous. And these are the stupidest things to be talking about. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, this is how they lie to you subtly. They take out everything and twist it. And if you're believing the news at this point, you're nuts. Open your damn eyes. Do a little bit of research. Look into this stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating as all hell. Yes. But so yeah. Thank you for checking out this clip from the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our live podcast almost every single Friday night here on the channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.